The problem with that argument is stop and take a look at the human race in an omnivorish setting. Just look around. You can look at almost every country in the world right now and see omnivorish eating by Homo sapiens and take a look at the health issues. Someone just said, boy, there's a lot of cancer out there. 4 out of 5 supposedly has that. Yes, there's a lot of cancer out there. Why? Could it be something something in the air, something flying in from Moose Jaw, Alaska? Some disease that's floating around looking for the bad people? I mean, this is all just kind of ridiculous stuff. Cause and effect constantly. And the effect of eating a high-protein, high-dairy diet is obvious. This is what man's been on. Take a look around. Take a look around. I know most of you understand that, but there's always new people to the site that don't. But I know you healers get that. But people keep bringing this stuff up. But definitely, and the green organic Superman, you could eat anything. I was going to say, if you're trapped, I remember that guy trapped behind enemy lines, and he was eating grub worms and everything else, and I'm thinking, why the hell you do that? You got plenty of greens around you. And the survival man's the same way. He's rattling on about health, and he really doesn't know health, but he is good at survival, that's for sure. A couple of those dudes are really, and the man and the wife surviving out in the woods, I think she's pretty good to put up with that guy. But they seem to have a pretty good relationship there. But they're eating grubs and stuff like that, and it's like, look at all the grass you got. Look at all the stuff you got. That's more nutritious than eating dead tissue. But it's the boom. It's the neurotransmitters. It's the boom that they want out of the meat. And in a healthy state, the boom is pure dynamic energy, and that's what you want at the cellular level. Pure dynamic energy emanating from a cell. And then when it emanates from 100 trillion cells, we got an emanating body. Oh. I'm going on a 27 day of a lemon juice. Today I finally saw sediment. Pretty good, Fruit Fairy. You're kicking butt, dear one. Your herbs are kicking my you-know-what, and I'm loving it. Thank you, Fruit Fairy. You sweet thing, you. I appreciate that. You know what? I don't know. I've just been going along these years trying to put things together and figure things out and make things easier for people. And I think the sediment makes a big difference. We see it every time. It's a shame that it takes so long for some people to get the sediment roaring. And I don't know why, all the implications of that. Just that, remember, in an acidic medium, you have an anionic state developing, which is a coagulated, dehydrated state. And when that happens to fluids, they pretty much dry up, harden, thicken, and maybe that's the problem, is that the lymph gets so thick that it's hard, it takes a while to get that to break loose. Someone gave me something about sulfur, and I wanted to cover that. I think I took that home at lunch, but there was a formula that this doctor was giving to get rid of sulfur with an asparagus extract, but it had ethanol in it. So better be careful taking that supplement. It'd be better just to get some abstract of asparagus. Supposedly it's good to rid the body of sulfur. I'll experiment myself and see how that works. But the formula that you had mentioned, my friend, has got ethanol. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. Typical medical thinking, but alcohol, no thanks. Nope. Thank you, Organic Superman. My own diet, I've said that many times. I think my biggest crutch, and I go on, I go off. It tends my emotional states. If I'm really in a high emotional state, I'll get some tea. If I'm not, I'm good. That's been my biggest downfall in my life, is tea. I'm just not, I'm not one of those people that go way off the deep end and eat crap and everything else. Repost. Hi, Dr. Morris. What does a lymphatic constipation in some blue eye? This is a good question. Why is some eyes that are milky white and other eyes become brown? That's a good question. All I know is that brown is definitely a chronic state of lymph. Now, what impact does genetics have on a chronic state of lymph versus a non-chronic state of lymph? I can't tell you. There are some things, iridology, I haven't figured out myself. I haven't seen if any other iridologists come up with that, but you might see if you can find that information. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure we know why. I mean, you can definitely show you that in a brown state where the eye is supposed to be blue and it's brown from chronic lymph, that is indeed chronic lymph. Those people have a much harder way to go than those that are not. I have this old dairy farmer here. He's had a lifetime of dairy. Now he has a white eye. You can see heavy lymphatic problems, but they're not chronic in terms of making the eye brown. So I don't know how the impact of genetics on fluids are, but something does create that issue, and I don't know. It would be interesting in a seminar of iridologists, what some iridologists might think about that. How do you prepare an aloe bath? Good question. Well, it's true, you'd have to super grow the aloe vera. There's no question about that, but you wouldn't have to throw it out all the time because you could preserve it. But I don't know where you'd be on that mixture, to be honest with you, but a little child wouldn't need a lot. And even if you just had enough to coat him and coat that little poor 14-month-old baby, that wouldn't require a lot. And, you could maybe just keep it thick on the skin. But an aloe vera bath would be by far, I think, the cat's meow. And you could mix some other things in the aloe bath, like the burdock leaves, maybe the comfrey leaf or root, accelerate healing of tissue. You definitely could make a nice little bath of some herbs mixed in with some, like the heal all tea or something, but some herbs like that, slippery elm, marshmallow, very healing to tissue. The comfreys and the golden seal, very healing to tissue. And if you added that with the aloe, which would pull the heat out, pull the pain out, and super heal, I mean, that's the way you have to go with burns. You can't go the allopathic way. Those guys are crazy. You're scraping your skin. You always see mutation. And then they're taking skin from other parts of your body and stuff like that. I think the problem with allopathy, they forgot you can regenerate tissue. The thing is, if you want to understand how to regenerate tissue, you must first understand what degenerates it. I think that's just a classic thing. But I'm glad you were watching. MZIMMERMAN 12. Good catch real quick. I just put that up there yesterday, man. Pretty good. I think it was yesterday. Mr. Ant Dion, I haven't talked to you in a while, my friend. Great analysis of her journey is bigger than she thinks. Yeah. Thanks for the comment. I'm glad you're still with us, my friend. Appreciate you and miss talking with you a little bit there. Always in the now. I love that. You see my big always in the now picture and then my doggy picture? You guys are some good artists out there. Of course, this is the picture of a flower, but my God, how it echoes the universe, huh? This is always in the now, and she's a little doggy, 6 years old. I don't think it's a little dog. I mean, it's a, Neeshound, who I believe was the run of the litter, and very timid and nervous and hyperactive. So one thing you know right off, dogs already have a urinary tract issue genetically for the most part, and you really see that when they start oozing out the eyes. My Shih Tzu's got them. A lot of these little dogs have them where they're oozing out their eyes. And dogs don't have sweat glands like frugivores, so they ooze out their holes, tongue, mouth, eyes, etc. And so already, so there's a little adrenal gland weakness there, a little kidney, if there's run of the litter, might have a little pituitary weakness going on there. You can pick that up with the pituitary glandular. They like meat. Has never eaten commercial dog food. Good woman. I used to cook for them when I was a vegetarian. When I started eating raw, I just started feeding the dogs raw, meaty bones, some veggies and fruit. He has some digestive problems, some kidney, well, it's definitely kidneys, but they're born with those sort of things. So I get him on the kidney formula, definitely perk up the adrenals with a little glandular, and probably if you think he was a runt, just a tad bit of pituitary now and then just to pick that up. Or you can do the endocrine gland formula with the dog. Definitely do Parasite M, clean them up that way. but move lymph, and that's the same issue. Dogs face the same issue with tumors and everything else. So you got to get the kidneys, you got to get the adrenals up, you got to get and that'll get the nervous system up. You could give them a little brain and nerve, probably would do well. Isn't that neat that you can give the dogs the same herbs that you give humans? I love that. You can give horses the same, llamas the same. Cats, you can give them the herbs too. When I start, let me see here, he's very jumpy when someone gets too close to him or moves suddenly near him. I'd give him the, again, getting the adrenal formula, but give him the brain and nerve formula. It'll strengthen him up that way. Yeps as if someone was killing him and quite quickly tries to get out of the way. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's adrenal gland related as well. I think that his kidneys and adrenals are down. He's oozing the lymph from that. And so perk those up, and the dog should come out of that and be a strong little doggy. He's been having some watery liquid oozing out of his right eye, and when I first saw it, I thought he injured himself, but you know, that's the lymph. He also had some limping joint problems. Hip dysplasia is very common with this breed. Now, so then I want you to think about the parathyroid too in this case, because you see thyroid a lot in dogs. You see hyper dogs all the time. You see hyperthyroid in dogs all the time, the buggy eyes and everything else. Isn't it, once you understand the body a little bit, isn't it fun? And you can go, oh look, my dog's at this and this and this, and then you can work on it. Can't do much for hyperthyroidism, but I would definitely work with the parathyroid gland here and get his lymph moving and kidneys filtering, da-da-da-da-da. While eating cooked food, he often had what they called projectile vomiting. Wow. Well, again, they're back to liver and, you know. Wow. The info I found on the net said that complete blockage of the lower intestines and severe trauma to the digestive tract are often the case. Well, it wouldn't have to be the case. He could have interstitial lymphatic constipation in the bowels. He could have liver problems. He wouldn't necessarily have to have a blockage of the bowels or trauma. And they considered it an emergent case, but I never took him to the vet. I simply did some energy work on him and he got better. See what I mean? People, I think, freak out, and then the medical people, they do things that maybe they shouldn't. Oh, 3 o'clock, I gotta go. Okay, let me just finish with this, and I'll be right there. Is this in person or by call?
In person.
Okay, I'll be right there. A new one?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll be right there. Give me 2 minutes. I'll finish this up. We're good. We're rocking and rolling. I simply did some energy work on him and he got better. Now when he eats meaty bones or organs, he's fine. But after I give him veggies with raw eggs, he occasionally vomits again. Yeah, you might have to keep him more as a carnivore-ish type of dog. Is this some kind of detox? Maybe. Maybe he's got just enough weakness there with the pancreas that he doesn't do well with the veggies. Possible. Most dogs do splendid with veggies. I don't know about the raw eggs, though. You would think a raw egg would be good, especially a non-fertile organic raw egg. That would be really good, but